Hello! If you do not know, I'm Elaine and I'm a tour guide in the French Quarter in New Orleans. I have a lot of stories from my tours. Now, if you want to hear the ghost stories I tell on my tours, you're going to have to come down here and pay for it. But if you want to hear stories of weird things that happen while I am leading mostly drunk strangers through the French Quarter, I got you. So I said I wasn't going to tell any ghost stories, but there is one that I will tell here because it's not one of the stories about the history of New Orleans. There was one night I was at one of the locations, which is a hotel, and it's a pretty common French Quarter hotel in that it looks like a house. It's got brick front. There are 2 levels above the floor level, ground level, that's the word I'm looking for, both of which have galleries, balconies across the front with a couple of rooms coming off of each one so that people can come out and sit on the porches. And there's one little section off to the side, which probably was originally servants or enslavement quarters. Now, one night I was telling the story at this location, and I looked up and realized all my guests looked really scared, which was frankly weird because the story at that location is more of a funny, haha, like, ooh kind of story, not a scary one. So eventually, after I'm seeing them look scared for a while, and I keep glancing behind me to be like, is there a guy with a gun behind me? Like, what's going on? Finally, I stop and look at the guests and go, guys, is everything okay? What's the matter? And one of them points up at the door of the little section off to the side and asks, why does that door keep opening and closing during the entire story? And I turn and look, and sure enough, as I turn, the door is slowly swinging all the way closed, and it is silent out on the street. So I can actually hear the moment the door closes and latches. And keep in mind, this was a glass front door that I could see straight through, so I could see that the room behind the door was black and dark. Now, the other important thing is this was a still, windless night. So, yeah, there could have been someone lying on the floor, swinging that door open and closed to watch my guests freak out. But it's a bit unusual. And I will say, locals and people staying in the rooms and hotels and places, yeah, they do mess with guests. There was one lovely night when I was telling a story, and in the middle of the story, I hear a little voice behind me go, "Boo." And it was a 80-year-old woman sticking her head up from the window that I was talking in front of to startle my guests. So these things do happen. But it was a bit of a weird moment. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you for listening.